Start? Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
We don't have any viewers now.
We usually just tell people to wait for a few minutes.
If anyone's on the webcast, we're waiting for museums around the country to log in.
Such as they
4
are.
viewers.
I showed up. Okay, so that's good. So it's a nice page. Are you gonna watch? Yes. Wait to choose. I see this. It's a Google Plus link. But where's the video? I see there are 2 rock stars, but I don't see. And where can you see if anyone's here?
We're seeing it right now.
Yes, go ahead. There's 15 people. I think you can start.
Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you here at the Smithsonian to talk about Smithsonian Magazine's Museum Day Live that's being hosted around the country on Saturday, March 12th this year in 2016. Smithsonian Museum Day Live is a partnership between the Smithsonian Institution, specifically one of our leaders at the African Art Museum, Dr. Janetta Cole, and the White House group, who have worked off Michelle Obama's call to action in April 2015 for museums and cultural organizations around the country to engage families and youth, and especially girls of color, to come and visit museums. So we have put together a great schedule of events across the Smithsonian campus on Saturday, March 12th. The schedule is chock full of engagement activities. There's career counseling. There are behind-the-scenes tours at the Archives of American Art, at the American History Museum. Our Latino Center is hosting a leadership discussion for girls to talk about future careers in museums. And we're really excited to be partnering with museums around the country, and especially Smithsonian affiliates around the country, who are our special guests on this webcast today. My colleague here, Alma Douglas, is going to talk about some of the things that the Smithsonian has put together in terms of a toolbox, and we'll talk about some NEH funding that we've secured through Smithsonian Enterprises and the National Endowment for the Humanities to see some of the activities affiliates have developed to honor this program.
So first I'd like to say that we are well on the way to great affiliate participation in Museum Day Live. We have almost 50 museums who have registered for the day, and we're excited and looking forward to the many events that will happen around the country in support of this effort. As Christina has mentioned, we are partnering with the National Endowment for the Humanities to provide seed funding for some of this programming. And to that end, we have put together an application and expectations form to submit to affiliates so that they can be a part of this funding opportunity. A little bit about the National Endowment for the Humanities. It was created as an independent federal organization in 1965 and has awarded more than $750 million in grants to museums in the past 50 years in support of more than 2,600 museum exhibitions. The NEH Engage and Inspire funding will allow Smithsonian affiliates to apply for support for outreach, facilitation of travel logistics, and to provide exposure to organization staff and relevant programming for Museum Day Live. The participants, we are encouraging and hoping that you will be presenting programming that will inspire women and girls of color on March 12th. And the goals of Museum Day Live are in support of NEH's mission to afford a humanities experience to all Americans. I would also like to talk about the promise zones that are supported by the National Endowment for the Humanities. We're particularly interested in activity in the cities of Indianapolis, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Minneapolis, but all affiliates are encouraged to apply. Smithsonian Affiliations has put together a myriad of resources in addition to the Smithsonian Magazine resources that are listed on the webpage. We encourage you to look at the webpage, look at the resources that are available. We have a toolkit there with lots of guidance for the day. We also have hashtags, and we have other resources that will be available to guide you through this day. We are hoping that affiliates will register for Museum Day and post their events and activities on the Museum Day Live page so that we here in Washington can see what great events you're hosting around the country. To date, I think I mentioned that we have over 50 affiliates who are participating, and we're hoping that you will be in touch with us with any questions, and we're hoping that we can support you in your communities as you're preparing for your special events. So Christina, I'll give it back to you for anything else you might have to say.
Well, thanks for going through all of those terms for the NEH funding, Alma. The good news is that Alma's been in touch with many of you in advance, and I think we have between 20 and 30 affiliated museums that hopefully are on the webcast right now that already have their programming developed and in place. And all of that programming is really in line with what our vision was for this Museum Day in terms of affiliate engagement. Is that correct, Alma?
That's correct. And also we have developed a web page on our Smithsonian Affiliations website that will also introduce you to some of the tools that our office has developed for your promotional materials. One of them being the TED Talk videos, which we hope you will present in your museum during that day, the Mrs. Obama video as well. And we will be posting live tweets. We will be posting the live chats for you. And so we want you to go onto that page as well for resources that we have developed for you.
And yeah, to your point, I mean, part of what we encourage you to do as affiliates is to take advantage of your co-branding opportunity with the Smithsonian. We would love to see you across social media promoting through all your social media platforms on the day of and leading up to, in addition to sharing hashtags and those kinds of things while people are coming in the door during Museum Day Live, especially with the young people, because they're the ones that are on, especially Instagram and Twitter. So those are the kinds of engagements we hope through our long-standing partnerships and our current social media relationship that you'll be using on that day. We should probably talk about the NEH funding and the process for that. We can go through that really quickly. Alma has sent out all the materials and the application link to submit your application for that funding. We will be reviewing all the applications, and we hope to award shortly after March 12th. We'll review those within a week after we receive them, and we will get back to you, and it'll be a pretty simple process. After you do all the activities on March 12th, we'll ask you to send in just a very short summary of the activities, the number of people you've reached, any kind of impact that you think would be helpful to the Smithsonian to report back to the committee and the White House. And then we'll provide you with an invoice template to invoice us so we can transmit the funding back to you.
And also, please note that the deadline for submitting applications is March the 6th, and so we're looking forward to your submitting your applications in a timely manner so that we can get back to you on whether or not you have been awarded funding.
So with that, did you want to open the webcast up to questions, Alma?
I think that's a great idea.
We have 30 viewers online with us, so that's a great number.
All right, so we're excited. We're hoping that you have been listening very carefully to us, and we'd love to entertain your questions.
For those of you who are new to Google Hangouts, if you're visiting this from the Google Plus page, there's an icon in the upper right of the video which indicates Q&A. If you click on that, you can then ask a question.
Well, Christina, can you think of anything that we have not mentioned while we're waiting for any questions?
Well, we have awarded similar kinds of funding for Smithsonian to affiliate engagement like this. And we probably have some people online who have participated in that as well. So it may be familiar with everyone.
And also, please know that this opportunity does not mean if you've already had programming planned for that particular day that you have to create new programming. It's very likely that what you have already planned is sufficient for our needs. And so we want you to know that it doesn't have to be a special effort. There does have to be a level to it as we have set out in the expectations form. But if you already have planned programming, perhaps you can adapt it very easily to what it is you've already, we're asking for.
Great. We have two questions now, one from Abby Shireman, and her question is, with 50 museums enrolled so far, how many will be awarded grant money?
Well, that's a good question, and we're hoping that we are able to award all of the affiliates who are applying based upon the strength of their programs. So it's not a number that we can guarantee, but we're going to try to make the money stretch as much as possible.
The second question is from Kathy Fay. Her question is, we're an affiliate, but we have partnered with a site that's not an affiliate. They're the ones registered for Museum Day. Are we eligible for the funding? Kathy, I believe that you would need to go online and register your organization for Museum Day so we can have that documented. Our award and our agreement with NEH is to award directly to an affiliate. So we would need to have you registered for Museum Day. And I think it's a pretty easy process to go online and do that.
And also, if you're partnered with a site that is part of the Promise Zone, but and also a site that serves an underserved audience, I think that's a very valuable link there. So please register for Museum Day.
Okay, we have a question asking to share the types of programming that the Smithsonian is looking for when it comes to the funding opportunity.
What we'd like to see is funding that interactively engages women and girls of color on this day. It is Women's History Month, so it's likely that you probably already have exhibitions or maybe some educational programming already planned. But we want to engage these groups on that particular day. So it's more than just a look at exhibitions and collections. It's really getting some of the educational aspects of what those exhibitions and collections are. If there is something like a panel that you're convening to discuss certain aspects of women's history, careers, or things of that nature, that would apply. If you're looking at sleepovers, or if you're looking at book, how can I put this? If you're looking at book tours where you have scholars come in and discuss a particular book with a particular audience, we're looking for that. If you have a STEM scholar that's going to give a presentation on that day, we're looking for things like that. We're looking for something more than just coming to the museum and looking at collections. If there is a program around those collections, that would certainly qualify for funding.
A dedicated touch point with the audience that we're trying to engage, and how you demonstrate that in your application is going to be key as well. Any other questions?
And if you are planning programming and you have questions about whether or not it's sufficient, we are happy to work with you on what is needed in order to take advantage of the funding opportunity.
And Alma, should those questions after the webcast be sent directly to you?
Yes.
So your email address?
My email address is douglasar@si.edu. And for many of you who received the e-alert, my email address is also included in the e-alert.
Okay, next question is, when will the decisions be made in regards to who receives the funding?
That's a good question. We are hoping to get the applications in and within the week get back to affiliates on who has received the funding.
And we didn't anticipate this very short turnaround, but we didn't have an agreement in place with NEH for the funding until about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So we're very proud here with Smithsonian Magazine as our partner and NEH that within our respective institutions, we could turn that around very quickly. So again, hoping to build off the great programming that you've already planned for this day is really the way that we're going to move forward.
So do we have any more questions? Well, Christina, it looks like our work is done. Again, if you would love to follow up with us, you have contact information. Any affiliate can call our office and speak with us, and we're happy to guide you further if needed. And thank you so much for being a participant in this webinar.
Thank you.